Hey everybody, welcome to or back to my channel, My Kind of Stuff, and today I want to talk about my top 12 books of 2024. You might be wondering, hey Steph, why 12, not like 10 like everybody else is doing? But I wanted to do mine a little bit different. I picked my favorite read from each month of 2024, so let's talk about them. So in January, I read a couple books that I gave 5 stars, but I think my all-time favorite is going to be Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. As you can tell, I tapped the crap out of this book. I absolutely loved it. And I still think about it to this day. Like, this story really stuck with me. It really sank in. Dean, the male main character in here, is one of my favorite book boyfriends ever. He is just the sweetest and deserves nothing but the best things in life. This is definitely not going to be one for everybody. It is very, very dark, so make sure you check your triggers because our two main characters in here do get captured and stuck in a guy's basement. They are forced to have sex with one another and then also following their story after they escape. So definitely a lot of trauma in this one, but it really sat with me, so that's why this is my top pick. Now, in February, I didn't have anything that stuck out to me immensely as like an all-time favorite. I also didn't read that many books in February. I don't really know what was going on that month, but it was just a low reading month for me, I guess. But I would say that my favorite of what I read was As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is book 3 in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. Obviously, being book 3 in a series, I can't talk to you too much about this, but we follow Pip, who is up to her usual shenanigans, solving murders around her neighborhood. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Overall, this series is great. If you haven't tried it, but you like murder mystery, and it also has like podcast elements. It is YA, but overall, it was just a whole lot of fun. So this is my top pick for February. Moving on to March, and I read and absolutely loved Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. I read this as part of like a traveling book club with my friends over in the Void from Maggie's books and stuff. So, yeah, this was a ton of fun. A very, very light, dark romance, but lots of weird, gross, creepy things throughout it. Very funny, a lot of dark humor in here, which is my kind of humor. And yeah, overall, just a great read. I think everyone should read it. Like, I don't see how you could not like this book. And there's another light, dark romance in this list too that I also think everyone should read because I liked it even more than this, and I loved this book. So I'm excited to get to that one. Now, in April, I had kind of a hard time picking. I had a couple that both happened to be thrillers that I read back to back that I really enjoyed, but I think the winner is going to be Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. I highly recommend the audiobook for this one. We follow a podcaster, and so there's podcasts within the story. And I think while listening to it, the podcasts really stand out and are special. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. I think even overall, the story was great. The plot, um, the twist was fun, and had such a great time with this. So another one that I highly recommend. And then May was another month that I had a hard time picking a winner. Because I had 3 books that were contenders for a top book in May. But I think because we don't have another fantasy romance on this list yet, I'm going with The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. We have ourselves Shadow Daddy, which you guys know I absolutely love. This is a darker fantasy romance. He's definitely kind of a bully to her, but overall, a lot of fun, very spicy, and the cliffhanger at the end. Oh, I couldn't wait to pick up the next book, and I actually recently read it, so that one was a lot of fun too, but not quite as good as this first book. Then my standout read for the month of June is Halloween Slaughter by Sergio Gomez. This is book 2 of the Slaughter series. I've also, since reading this one, also read book 3, so I've read the entire trilogy. I really enjoyed this series. Book 1 and 2 are standouts for me for sure. Um, why I didn't wait to read this until like October, I don't really know. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. If you love a slasher, especially like a campy slasher, this is a great one. Very gory, very unique kill scenes, and also a very unique enemy or villain, whatever you want to call the slasher. Overall, just all very unique, and I really love this series. Then in the month of July, Jenny from over at the Haphazard Book Nook and I started reading the Legacy of Gods series, and I think my standout read for that, because we did read the first 2 books that month, but book 1 was definitely the winner for me. That is God of Malice by Rena Kent. Absolutely ate this series up. This is another one that is very dark, definitely a bully romance, kind of stalker vibes as well. The boys in this series are something else. They are so unhinged. Um, but also, like, the girls in their friend group are all very funny and silly, so they bring, like, a breath of fresh air to the story, and I've really liked every single one of these books that I have read so far. I haven't finished the series yet, but I hope to soon. But as far as July goes, this was a standout for me. All right. So in the month of August was my next light dark book that I talked about earlier that I think everybody should read, and that is Lights Out by Navessa Allen. My cover does look a little bit different than what you're probably used to seeing because this is my special edition from the Probably Smut book box. I really love like the Archie comic vibe they're giving here. But we follow our male main character who is like a masked thirst trap Instagram account holder, and our female main character is a nurse. There is a little cat that really brings a lot to the story. His relationship with her cat is just so funny. He's always calling him their son, and like it's just so adorable, so funny. This one kind of takes a different twist on it, where like normally the guy's the badass. Um, but he's kind of a wussy and she's the badass. So that was a lot of fun. Um, she also like just gives it right back to him. Like he does some weird thing to her, she deals it right back. And I just loved their back and forth. The humor in this is top tier. If you can get the audiobook, I highly recommend because this is one of my favorite audiobooks ever. Now, for the month of September, I don't have a physical copy of my favorite book of the month. And I also don't think that there is a physical copy, but I was gifted an ARC by Horace Smith Publishing of Haunted Halls by W.A. Roberts. And I absolutely loved this. It was such a unique haunted house story. It was eerie, it was creepy, it kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time I was reading it. I didn't want to put it down. I binged it all like in a day, and I was eyeball reading it, which I don't like ever eyeball read. I pretty much only listen to audiobooks. That's how I get through books as quick as I do. Yeah, so that really says something. The fact that like I was eyeball reading it and I read it in a day and I couldn't put it down just tells you how much that I absolutely loved this book. Definitely very brutal, which was kind of strange for a haunted house. It's normally more like eerie, creepy, but like these ghosts were badasses, man. Um, they were out to get them, and it was just a lot of fun. Then in October, my standout read for the month was The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. This is in the Crowns of Nyaxia world. This is book 2 of the Nightborn duet. Uh, and I don't really want to talk a lot about this one either since it is book 2. But we do follow a human girl in a vampire world. Her adopted father, is the vampire king, and she enters into the Kajari in book 1, which is like this tournament. So that's got the games type element in that book. And she's basically just fighting for a chance to make a wish at the end of the Kajari if she wins. Um, Definitely takes a twist at the end. Things don't go quite according to her plan. But I love the male main character in this one. He is fantastic. He is a vampire. He's so like brutal and dark, but also like goes out of his way to help and protect her and is just very cute and sweet. And this book, because of the ending of book 1, really brought the tension and the angst between our two main characters, and I just had a great time with it. I was a little worried that I wasn't going to like it because this one doesn't have the games element that book 1 had. Um, but just all the tension and the angst really brought this book home for me. And in the month of November, my favorite read was Incidents Around the House by Josh Mellerman. Um, this one is like a creepy kid story, but it's told in such a unique way. Generally, when you get creepy kids in books, it's told through like the parents' perspective, but this we're getting the kids' perspective, and it's almost like an internal monologue. The way it's written, it's just so different from anything else I've read, and it was eerie and it was creepy and it was just everything you want in like a haunted house creepy kid kind of situation, and I just had so much fun with it. And then last but certainly not least, for the month of December, my standout read was Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. I was really nervous to read this because I've been seeing all the hype. I get it. All the fanro girlies were eating it up. But a lot of times when that happens, I read it and I'm disappointed by it. But I am happy to say that this definitely did not disappoint. This is another one where I highly recommend the audiobook. The narrators were fantastic. The banter in here was just top tier, not just between the like love interests, but like also them interacting with everybody else in the world. There was just a lot of silly, goofy humor in here. There's an adorable little fox character. I love an animal companion in books, so I was happy to see that we got one in here. And Kingfisher, our male main character, is just the sweetest bean, and I absolutely love him. This was marketed, I think, as like a dark fantasy romance. I didn't think it was very dark at all. Like maybe light dark if we want to go there, but like even that, not really. It's just your basic fanro. Um, but yeah, I had a great time with this one. All right, guys, those were my 12 favorite books from 2024. I was gonna try and pick a winner, like an overarching winner, but I don't know if I can. Like, still beating, well, I don't think it was my favorite. The fact that I read it a year ago now and still just constantly think about it says a lot. But like also Lights Out was absolutely fantastic. Butcher and Blackbird is great. Haunted Halls was great. Instance Around the House, Quicksilver. There was just so many good ones that I don't think I could pick a favorite. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have read any of these and if you enjoyed them or what your favorite read of 2024 was. Make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up on your way out, subscribe if you're new, and make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss any future content, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!